keep you updated on what is happening in the country. Here in the studio, we shall also be having a conversation on matters real estate for the first hour, as well as food security in our second hour. My name is Betty Kiptum, and Wangeshi is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Welcome to the program. Now, George Mburu, he is the Chief Executive Officer at Mizizi Homes. Welcome on set, George.
Thank you very much.
Let's just start off this conversation on real estate with giving our viewer just an overview of where the real estate sector is currently, kindly.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here and for having me. And the real estate sector is a sector that has a lot of potential, and it's a sector that has made a lot of people rich. And we know most of the people that are known to be wealthy, they are people who have ventured into real estate. So a real estate is somewhere, actually, it's every person's dream to have a real estate, either to have a home, which you can be getting rent, to have maybe a big building, anything. Real estate is always the place that people desire to be. So it's a nice place, and we as Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we are happy to report that it is doing good, especially because now people have started adopting to Corona, which we say is a new norm. And now people have now started embracing real estate.
Okay.
And real estate is a way to build actually wealth and to grow.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's just pick it up from there about the corona. When the COVID-19 pandemic struck, of course, many people's pockets or income was impacted.
Sure.
And many people did not have, let's call it, loose income to invest in big projects. They were just saving for the essential products that they need in their households.
Yeah.
So just tell us how the pandemic affected this sector.
Yeah, thank you very much. Initially, when Corona came immediately, there was uncertainty everywhere in all sectors, and actually everybody was looking at how to survive, at least to have food on your table, just to survive, because we did not know how severe the pandemic would be, how severe the disease is, because actually there was so much rumors, once you get it within 24 hours and it is spreading so fast. So there was fear, and everybody, even people in real estate, everybody was actually looking for a way to survive. But now at least people have come to adopt, and now we realize Corona is here with us, and we don't know how long it is going to stay. It is up to us now to adopt the new norm and learn to live with it. And now, bit by bit, like every sector, the real estate sector is also coming up very well, and it's encouraging because people have taken so much lessons from the Corona pandemic.
Okay.
Before Corona, people are just making merry, living happily. You get some few coin, you gather people, you do party, you enjoy the money. But now people have realized that there is a future, and people now need to not be so much extravagant. It is high time people now start taking initiative of investing and owning a home as early as someone can, as early as possible, instead of going to the leafy suburbs to go and live there, pay rent of 150,000, 200,000, big machine because you have a job. People have seen you can actually easily lose your job. People have lost jobs in big ways. Actually, even in the furthest state, people have seen lose money in the government. Everywhere, people have actually learned now it is time to take life seriously, save early. You sacrifice much early, but much later you'll come and enjoy as you have your own home. Yeah.
Right. Around that time when COVID struck, the land prices slumped because of the oversupply, or many people were seeking to liquidate, that is to sell their land so that they can have some money to use based on the fact that many lost their jobs. Businesses were also closed. So this decrease in prices of land at the time, as well as even the real estate itself, the houses and all that, is it now picking up? Do you see it picking up?
Sure. Thank you very much. You will realize that when Corona came and people are not having money now, and you are looking for a way to survive. So maybe somebody there had a parcel of land, and maybe your income has all of a sudden gone. So you are left, you get hold of what you can so that you can survive. And that is why you find that people even who initially were not selling their land, income, you actually have to survive. So you get hold of what you have so that you can you can survive till the end of the pandemic. And that is why you have said very well, and it's very true, that the prices of land started decreasing, because now people are, you are desperate, you have to survive, and they started selling. And at the same time, there were no people to buy, because even the person who can buy, they are holding that money because they want also to survive. So you find that there was that bit of disruption. And for people who actually were very scared, I'm sure there are some people who made maybe irrational decisions, because they felt now like it is the end of the world. So you had a parcel of land you want to consume actually before the end of the world. And some of them now, they are actually maybe regretting. And but I can assure you, there are some people who actually saw that opportunity, who had maybe some money. They acquired those parcels of land at an affordable price. And now, because things are now becoming normal, they are now starting to resell and making a good return, which is something that is also good, because that person was able to overcome the pandemic. And this now person who also purchased is able now to get a return. Yeah, and that is actually how normally things operate. Yeah, so I can encourage people, maybe even those who maybe were able to acquire those parcels of land, even if normal things come back to normal, it is good that we help each other. We do not take advantage of people's circumstance. Now we know, yes, people now are starting to come back to normalcy. And like we, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we learned our lessons, and we're happy for the customers who actually walked with us the journey that time. That period of Corona, that is the time we as Mizizi, actually we started getting known, because we actually had to stand our foot, stamp our foot on the ground and say, yes, Corona is here, but we have to continue. We also have to continue seeking for our children's welfare. So we continued, and we are happy because we had other people who came on board, and we continued. And now the Corona is continuing to become maybe a norm, or if vaccinations are coming, we want to continue with the same. And we want to encourage even the people who have the lands. Let us not take advantage of people's maybe circumstance. They do not have yes, they have the resources, you have the land. Let us not do the holding. You know, the holding, maybe you have that chunk, you want it to go very up. Yeah, so make your small margin, because now things are becoming back to normal. Make your small margin, and we continue helping other people, and we continue actually now growing our economy. Our economy and it's all over. The world had really been hit, but now it's time we start rebuilding on our Kenyan economy, and generally the global. Actually, there are so much things that we have learned, that the world is a global village, and actually now we have seen everything is going to the internet and such.
Okay. Yeah. When you talk about, that time, home ownership, you've said, is a dream of everyone, really, to just own your own space, not having to pay rent all the time. Yeah. At the time, many people had to move to upcountry because they could not afford to pay the rent that that they were paying at the time, based on many factors, loss of income and all that. So, for people in the journey towards home ownership now, what is the first step? Yeah, the first step actually is normally the hardest. And like for us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we like actually holding hands for first-time homeowners, because having your first house, that is normally where there is the hard time. And if you do not have somebody who can hold your hand and show you the way, for sure you can find yourself, it's not hard, but you can find yourself losing it, because maybe it is some savings that you had, maybe you have taken your first loan, and if you lose that one, you can imagine you are paying for something which you do not have, or something that maybe you started a project and it is stalled along the way because maybe some scrupulous. It's just like the way a person who is learning to drive, and you put the L on the vehicle. You find that when you are very new on the road, you find you actually sometimes undermined even by the other drivers. You understand? Yeah, but with the time, with the experience, you find it becomes very easy, and you even wonder what was disturbing me. So it is the same case with people who are owning a property for the very first time. You find that you'll come and get so many people who are advising you, this is the way to go,
And those people actually just want to get a hold of your money because they know you had a loan somewhere. They are looking at how they can get their hands on the pocket of your money. They get it. So by the time that you are done, you have lost money and you are left wondering. So that is why, like we Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we actually like holding hands for people who are doing it for the first time. But with the time it becomes easy, and we actually encourage even people. Once now you have come, you have become our customer. With the time, also reinvest with us, or you can go and start maybe now at your home and now treat the people, because we normally encourage our customers to come to the site, they see and they get to learn so much, so that with the time we will actually have so many people who can actually construct on their own.
Okay, so in taking that first step, there's, of course, you've mentioned due diligence that someone needs to do to ensure that they're not being robbed of their hard-earned money, but, you know, investing in a legitimate project rather. So what can a potential home buyer look out for when they're now looking for maybe a company to work with, or even if they're seeking to build on their own, a contractor to work with? What should they look out for?
Yeah, thank you very much. You will find that actually a majority of people who have their homes, they at some point, maybe you will find, maybe let's use an example of KBC, the staff here. You will find most of them, maybe they live within the same area because somebody took the initiative or somebody introduced them to that area, another person trained their friend, and within no time you will find like the whole people that are in KBC, they live in a certain area. Yeah, so that is the same case. If you are planning to invest somewhere, it is always good to listen to somebody who has done it in the past. They have walked a journey, and the journey has been successful. They can tell you their story. Like for example, somebody has started, they have seen the area is very good, it has security, it has water, it has roads, it's nice, it is somewhere also affordable, and they understand maybe your income. They can advise you, you can come here. Yeah, so the same case, if you are doing the due diligence, the most important thing is to talk with the people who have done it in the past, and they can tell you their experience. And most of the time, you will find if you talk to a good number of people, there are good people who will tell you exactly the way. You may find one person maybe who is not very truthful, so it's good you listen to others who may discourage you, because you know, also when you have something that you want to do and you share to many people, you know that not everybody wants you to succeed. So you may be very careful, talk with people. For example, we normally encourage people to come and talk to customers who have bought with us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited. They tell you the journey, and you get to understand. Then from there, do also your due diligence as a person. I'm sure you have your questions. Come now, talk to us, like the company, ask all your questions, so that at the end of the day, you are satisfied, you have talked with everyone, and now you understand what you are doing. At least you have an idea. It is just the same way as driving. When you're starting to drive, it is normally advisable you do not go on the road when you are alone. Have a competent driver for 2-3 weeks. Then with the time, you start taking the wheel, and with no time you will understand. And with the time when you start, you may find the first one may be hard, but with time you have talked with a good number of people, you have visited other companies, you have understood. Now you can go to lands, how to do a search, so that you see maybe a legitimate title. You'll understand more and more as you are in that business, or in that process of owning your first home.
All right. When you talk to many of the customers of maybe companies that have gone under before with people's money, real estate companies to be precise, they will even tell you that they did their due diligence, maybe consulted with lawyers. Are there any telltale signs of these companies that maybe someone should look out for to ensure that their money does not, you know, go down the drain?
Yeah, true. They are there, and you will find that there is always the red flag in any, even in a relationship. Before it breaks, there are always the red flags. So it is always good to follow your instincts. If you follow your instincts very carefully, before actually a company goes under, you can be able actually to tell. Because like for example, one of the things you can tell a company is you will go under. Let's say you are in a project. Let's say you have invested a good number of people, and like for us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we encourage people to be visiting. So with the time, you'll get to know your neighbor. you'll get to understand these people, are they also paying or are they facing challenges? Because at the end of the day, maybe I am the one who know all the customers. They may not know each other. Maybe when you come to me, you ask me, how are we stalling? And I tell you, we are stalling because the other people who we are together in this project, they are not paying, isn't it? Yeah, so, and you can go the extra mile, you understand who are the other people. Are they paying? Or if they're not paying, what is their challenge? So for sure, you will see, like this company is giving a very genuine reason. But you may find everybody is paying very well. For example, the projects that we are normally doing, like Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, off-plan, which is something that has really frustrated people. You find customers are paying very well, but you find nothing is being done on the ground. And when maybe now you go to the developer, you ask what's the problem, he tells you people are not paying, and you encourage them, then call a meeting, we come and we see how we can help each other. And you find that there are so many ways of killing a rat, because we may have some people who are dragging us behind. We can actually move these people from this project, we move them to the next project, and we let them understand at the end of the day, there are other people who have invested their money. Maybe there's somebody who has paid cash and they're waiting for, like for us, we normally give 10 to 12 months, but the project is now stalling and we're almost winding up. So those people who are very behind, we let them understand. For sure, this is a project that is owned by these people. They have taken loans and they are paying interest and they are paying the loans. Let us move you from this project. We take you to another project whereby we are going to give you more time. Yeah, so if there is no that transparency, and in anything, if there is no transparency, for sure that is where the first red flag is. So for people who have invested in those homes and what have you, it is good people to walk the journey together. If you have invested, you also a shareholder or a stakeholder in that process. So it's good for you to walk the journey. Do not invest your money, hard-earned money, then you go and take a backstage and you wait for things to happen. It is good you also get involved. If there's a challenge, maybe sometimes there are challenges because we are also living in a world where in a country where there are laws. Maybe there are some issues, maybe let's say with the lands, with what have you. We come and we understand the challenges together. At the end of the day, yes, we are constructing on your behalf, but it is also good that you are also involved in the process. If there is no transparency and you are asking questions, you are not answered, then that is a red flag. And yeah, plus others, it's good to follow your instinct.
Right. Yeah. So that is one of the options of buying a house, the off-plan purchase. Yeah. And you've brought out a risk that exists, that you might be the one paying the installments as agreed, but your fellow, project owners, so to say, are not paying or are not honoring their agreements. So that brings me to the question of whether to buy or to build, because now when you're building your own home, you can control the speed based on your financial capability at the time, What are your thoughts on that?
For sure, to be frank, for me to build like my own house is much easier and much faster. Because I know my strengths, I know my resources, and I understand how to do the construction. I know where to source for the materials. I know how to manage the fundis and the workers. I know all those things. So it would be easy, like for me personally, or another person who has the experience and understands construction. But you also find that there is somebody out there who does not have that expertise or that time to go and start sourcing for the materials, the good materials, the time to understand how to supervise the workers. He does not understand maybe how to go and get the approvals. He does not understand how to, he'll get a surveyor to come and maybe subdivide so that there's also no fights with the neighbor. You have not gone beyond the boundaries. There's somebody to him that is a lot of hard work because they do not have the expertise, they do not have the time. And for example, we have people who are in the diaspora, they have the desire to invest back at home. If you tell them to now start doing all those things, to them it will be very hectic. But to me, because I'm in the country, I understand where I can get the stones. I go to Kware, Darugu, I know where to get the Kamba Moja. All those things are at my fingertips. For me, it is easy. Or even for any other person who understands all those things. But there's somebody else in the diaspora or is employed. They are employed 8 to 5. They do not have that time to go and start looking for doing due diligence. Where is this land? How is the past? You understand? It may be hectic. So you may tell them to do something. To me, it is very easy, but to them, it may be hectic, and they may try and actually end up burning their fingers because they don't have the time. Maybe it's only the weekend. And for example, something like land, because it has been invested with so many brokers and middlemen, because people know land, there is money. You get, maybe before you even get to the owner, you have gone through so many brokers. And maybe by the time you are going to pay, you may find you have already been conned, people have been conned, or you have actually purchased that land like actually 3 times. The owner maybe wanted 1 million. These brokers, they are like 20 of them. They want a cut each. So you are the one who is going to bear that cost. So you find something maybe that you could have done on your own with the expertise and maybe spent like, let's say 3 million. You have ended up using even 10 million. So you see, it all depends with where you are coming from. And
both options have risks and benefits.
True.
When people started, maybe the increase in working from home as well as also home studying because of the lockdowns that existed at the time. One thing that came to the fore is the space in the house. You cannot be working, the children are studying there, you're feeding the baby there also in the living room. So people need space in their houses. And one challenge that is very present in housing in Kenya, to be specific, is the spacing. Many home property owners are compromising on space to make sure that they make a lot of money. So what do you think should be done to ensure that we are balancing between the space that is available vis-a-vis the pricing that is there?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, what we can do, and as customers, everybody who is investing in a project or in a property, for one, they understand themselves better. You understand, maybe if you are a person who works at home, you need an extra space in the house where you can have your office. And you find that for somebody who is selling to you a project, they will first show you exactly, even if it is off plan, it is for sure you must see at the end of the day, what are you buying? Yes, it's a concept, and exactly how is it going to be? Yeah, and that is the issue of now customization, where it comes in. And like for us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we normally encourage customization. We have shown this is a kind of a house that we are doing, but we also give you the liberty to customize. This is the plan. Like for example, for us, we have architects in-house. This is the plan that we are selling. But you understand your needs more because it is your house. You understand your needs more, and needs are different. This person has 1 kid, another one does not have, so needs are different. This one works from office, from home, needs are different. So now it's up to the customer. You get to understand, is it possible for me to get an extra space to have an office? If it is possible, well and good. If it is not possible, you can move to the next option. And that is why, like we, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we have moved to a new design because of that need of having an extra space which you can utilize. And we have moved from the conventional way of roofing. Before we used to roof using iron sheets. And with the time, because we saw people have that desire to have an office in your own house, we had to also, we do not want to lose customers, because you, as a developer, you also have to come up with ways. You do not want to lose customer business to other people. So we came up with a very nice way of having a flat roof. And a flat roof, we say that it is just like eating your cake and still having it. Because we have constructed your house downstairs, but you have an extra space upstairs. So that extra space upstairs, because it is a slab, we have concreted it. You can even have an extra room up there, which is your office. and the desire to have an office in your house, you meet it. So we do not have to chase you, we tell you we can't. We also become innovative, and also developers and people who are in the business have to be innovative so that we do not lose business. Like somebody there who is still doing the same, and they tell the customer we don't have an office. They will come to us, Mizizi, and we will solve that problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from your experience, what do you think homeowners are looking for, apart from, of course, what you've just explained? Is there more that they are looking for in their homes?
Yeah. Homeowners, what they are looking for? Homeowners are looking for the first thing people want is to stop the stress of paying rent. So for first-time homeowners, they actually do not have so many demands. But as you move on, it is just like the hierarchy of needs. Once you satisfy one need, another need comes up. So for the first-time homeowners, once you have a roof over your head, you are not paying rent, your children are relaxing, you have sorted that problem. Now the issue of working where I can also work from home now arises. And that is why, like for us, Mizizi, we innovate and we sort now the issue of working at home. Now there's another issue. You have a home, you're not paying rent, but you need to have an investment. You need to be getting a rental income. That's another need, because now you are comfortable, you're not paying rent, but you're still working, you're getting the same income, you're not paying rent, so you have more disposable income. So you have grown now. You are not now desperate to have a home, you're not paying rent. Now you are comfortable in your own house, but now you have the desire, I wish I can be getting a rental income. Yeah, so that's another need that is there. And now once we have sorted that need, now people now start looking for luxury. I need somewhere whereby I can have maybe a jacuzzi, comfort. Now I can relax, I can host people, we can have a party and such. The needs are growing, and like for us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, now we have come with mansionettes. Mansionettes, you have enough space, and you have upper stairs whereby you can even, if you want us even to do a small pool there, you can have it. Okay. You now, at least you continue growing, and with the time we'll continue even catering for the luxury, because needs continue increasing. Now you want to grow, you want now to enjoy a bigger space, bigger compound. You see, as your needs, you satisfy the small needs. Others come up which are more luxurious. Yeah.
Right. As many Kenyans would want to own a home, there is the big problem of affordability of the houses that are available, that are there,
Sure.
That is why even the government came up with the affordable housing program. There are also incentives for private developers who are doing affordable homes.
Sure.
Is there anything you're doing in that light, and maybe just to ensure that prices are coming down to capture the market that exists?
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much. One thing that you will note, the moment now you have stopped the most stressful need of paying rent. That is the most stressful. Once you have stopped that one, and that is what actually the government is trying to do, to house everybody so that people can have their own homes. And when people have their own homes, they have a freedom of mind. And these people are now actually able to do bigger things on their own. They're able to even go and start projects on their own, because you have that freedom. Because the stress of rent, I can assure you, is something that has enslaved most people's mind. And people, either whether you're employed, whether you're in business, because the moment the end month is approaching, everybody panics. You start wondering, now the landlord is here. You can imagine if you can sort that problem for so many people, people will be much more productive, and people will actually even think even broader. And that is why I normally encourage, I am happy with the government, affordable housing. It has started very well, and it is normally said the hardest part is to start. The government has started affordable housing. We, private developers like Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we have also done the pilot project, and we have seen it is a good thing. So we want to encourage more players come on board, and even people who are in the diaspora, they want to come back home to invest back at home. You have your own house. You do not have to go and stay with the people in the rural area. You you start fighting. You want to have your own house whereby you come and relax. And also these people, once you have your house, they want to invest. And that is how we are going to tap even the money that is there outside the country. And we'll even have people who have actually taken money from here. They have gone to invest in other places, Seychelles, Dubai. They will bring all that resources now back to home. And we are going to grow our economy. And the good thing is that we are also creating employment on the people that are on the grassroots, because you will find that a majority of people that we employ, they are not even people who are skilled. You just need somebody who is hardworking. Mtu wa mkono, you don't need any skill. Just need to come. You can be shown this is how you put the ratio of cement and sand and water, and you have that mortar and the fundi shows you, and with the time you learn. That is how we are also going to grow our young people, and they will stop becoming desperate. They will have works, they will have jobs, and they will become self-sufficient. Yeah, so people who have the resources will bring. So it is a win-win for everybody at the end of the day. Yeah.
Let's talk about the diaspora market.
Sure.
For someone who is here in Kenya, it's easy for them to go to the site, you know, check if construction is going on. Sure. For people who are abroad, it's mostly a matter of trust. Sure. And you have to agree with me that the trust in that particular sector has gone down because of the many things that have been happening. Sure. So what can someone who is in the diaspora do to ensure that their investment at home is safe? Sure. And also tackle the issue of investing with, say, a private developer, a registered company, vis-a-vis relatives or friends who are back home?
Yeah, thank you very much. That problem of mistrust actually started with relatives. And relatives, people in the diaspora used to send money back to their relatives, and they were coming to be disappointed because it's your uncle, your sister, your brother. You trust them, you're sending money, and people who are in the diaspora, because I've actually interacted with a good number, a majority of our customers also nowadays are coming from the diaspora, and we appreciate them actually very much. And they were sending to their brothers and their sisters, and they were coming to be disappointed. And that is why now they started looking for somebody they can trust. And now they went and actually trusted people who even frustrated them even further. But for sure, these are monies that we can tap back into our country. So what I can encourage even the government, it is high time that these unscrupulous developers, the action is taken so that people do not remit back at home and become disappointed. And also, because of that problem, they're also coming up now people who are genuine, because the problem is there. People who are in the diaspora, they have that need. They have trusted their relatives, they have been disappointed. They have trusted other scrupulous business people or developers who saw the desperation they had because they needed to invest back at home. They could not trust their relatives. So the people thought now they close themselves, like the way we say, fisi, jivalia ngozi ya kondoo. Yeah, but also because the need is there. Now it is high time, and the time has come for now the actually people who want to solve that issue of mistrust to come up. And that is why people like us, Mizizi Africa Homes, have come up, and there are actually other companies. We actually recently were awarded with an award, one of the most affordable houses in Kenya for off-plan and mid-plan. And we want to appreciate those people. And there I also got to meet other developers who I actually didn't know, and they are doing marvelous job. They are doing a good job. They are people who are very credible, and actually such people now who are recognizing people who are doing a good job, I want to encourage them to continue doing the same, so that at the end of the day, it is a very lucrative sector, but it has been people who have destroyed the name. If we can expose these people and action is also taken, we'll at the end of the day clean the sector and have players that are genuine, have players that are good, and we'll build back the trust that people in the diaspora had, and they will come and we'll walk the journey and we'll grow our economy.
Right. Yeah. Well, I am with George Mburu. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Mizizi Homes, and we are talking about matters home ownership. Are you going to buy or are you going to build? What are the risks? What are the benefits of both options? Do share with us your Welcome back. You are watching BizCheck here on KBC Channel 1 in studio. We are having a conversation about real estate, specifically home ownership, and we are having that conversation with the Chief Executive Officer of Mizizi Homes. He is George Mburu. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the building materials that are used in construction of houses.
Sure.
It has been reputed to be one of the important reasons why houses are very expensive. You know, the insistence on brick and mortar kind of houses.
Sure.
So what are these available technologies that is there currently that will bring down the cost of homes?
Yeah, thank you very much. You will find that Africa and Kenya in particular, we are blessed with natural resources. For people who are doing construction in maybe other areas, they find that the natural resources are not there. But you will find that like in Kenya, the stones, it's only that sometimes the transport is high. There are some levies who the people who are bringing the materials have to pay to the counties. There are some extra fees, but you can find that we have the natural resources. You will find, I have seen actually things like the ballast. It is stones that are crushed. You just need people even who can invest those machines here in Africa or here in Kenya. If we can get investors investing, or even we ourselves holding hands, investing in those materials that maybe make those ballast, because those are some of the materials that are used. We have people who are investing in sand harvesting, so that we can because it is locally available, and the cement, it is also locally manufactured. Here we have companies and they are using natural resources to come up with that cement. If those people can also be encouraged, the only thing that is quite expensive which we import is the steel. And if the steel can be looked into so that it is subsidized, or maybe the taxes are removed, and we have these other natural resources, more investors to get those natural resources out of the ground, you can find that the materials will be cheaper, and also encourage more people even to have means of transporting the materials. Materials are there, but the transportation is difficult. There are other levies that have to be paid, and maybe the people who have invested in, they are not many, so they have also to sell expensive, because not so many people are selling the ballast, the stones, but they are there. So if you can have more investors on those areas, ballast, sand, those natural resources that we have, we will find that the materials will go down, and actually construction will be much cheaper. And because the other thing is labor, and these are people who are not so much skilled, and some have learned the art. We encourage them, and so many other people, we have more people who are doing it. It will actually become much cheaper.
Okay. Yeah. We are talking about the traditional building materials, so to say, the stones, the ballast, and the cement and all that.
Yeah, because we have them, but also the others which normally come from outside.
Yes, please.
But if you can make use of what we have, I'm sure if we exhaust that one, it will be cheaper. Then once we have exhausted what we have, we can now think of importing, because what we are thinking is, if we build Kenya more, we make use of our natural resources more without importing. You know, the thing with importing is that we are depleting our foreign reserves. When you are buying something, let's say for example from China, you can't use our Kenyan shilling. You have to use the dollar, and that dollar is what we are trying to tap back into our country from our people who are outside, or from people maybe who are lending us. So what I can encourage us as a country is, first of all, we make use of our natural resources. Then from there, once we have seen, we have brought it to the lowest of cost, and then we feel still there's still a need which we have not met, we can now think of going to get them from outside. You know, Chinese have everything, and some of those things actually come from here. They go and manufacture. So let us make use of what we have. We exploit, we bring them to the lowest of cost. If we do not again meet the demand with what we have, we can now think of going to get things from outside. That would be what I would encourage.
Do we have to go get them from outside? Because isn't that an opportunity that is yet to be tapped, say, by the manufacturing industry? Can't these alternative building technologies be manufactured locally? Because even the time of construction is really reduced by these technologies. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are that if you have to go, it will be the last resort. We don't have to, but if we have to, let it be the last resort. You know, sometimes you can say, yes, we have all of it. Then after we have tried, we see we do not have. We will have to go get. But before we go get, let us try and make sure that we have exhausted all everything that we need, and we have encouraged manufacturers or investors to bring those machines, so that the materials will go down. If we have exhausted that one and we still feel we have a need to go and import, we can do it as the last resort. But let us not jump to go and start importing other technologies, and what we have not exploited fully. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about mortgages.
Sure.
Kenya has quite a demand for home ownership, with about 300,000 deficit every year.
Sure.
But you find that the mortgages are not anything more than 30,000, you know, for all Kenyans. What can be done to just see the uptake of mortgages go up, considering the government already started with the mortgage refinancing corporation? How can these be bumped up?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good start that the government has started. They have done that mortgage refinancing. It's a good thing. And what now should be done is to encourage people to take it up, and also reduce sometimes the requirements. You find that even such a law has been passed, but you find the uptake is still very low, because when you go to try and apply, the requirements are so high that the ordinary citizen is not able to meet, because maybe you are told you must have this income, you must have this collateral, and this is your first one. And you find that is actually why young people become frustrated, because you need to take a loan. Yes, you have been employed, you have your income. You go to the bank, this is my income. They tell you, yes, it's good you have an income, you need a collateral. You do not have a title. So you see the requirements, they become so high. So the government actually can now become the guarantor. I had heard somewhere, the government becoming a guarantor. This is a young person who has recently been employed. Yes, they only have their pay slip. We will guarantee. If he's unable to pay, we are going to chip in, so that we also encourage more people. It is good to take the first step, and now there is need for the second step. Yes, that refinancing is there. Let us now encourage people to take it up, reduce the requirement, so that we have more people who are taking up those mortgages. Yeah.
Okay. The role of government, of course, in all this is to ensure that there is a business environment that is, viable for business to thrive. Yeah. Is enough being done?
Sure, thank you. I am happy that we, as the private business people, because basically we are business people, and as private developers and other people, our call to the government has been that to get a conducive environment, and we have seen the government, it is trying, because we have actually the Kenyan ranking. It has started appreciating. Now Kenya is being considered to be a place which can attract investors. It is becoming actually a place people who are in the outside want to come and invest. So we want to encourage it to continue. Let there be more conducive environment, and if a person is starting a business, they are not disturbed, they are encouraged. And even more, let there be more incentives actually to encourage people to invest here at home. There has been that start, encouraging, giving a conducive environment, and encouraging people. We know that Kenyans, we are peace-loving, which is the first thing, and which is actually our biggest asset, because an investor does not want to go to a place where within no time they don't know what will happen to their investment. So we continue. We as Kenyans, we also need to take it up, that we ensure that we have a peaceful country. We do not fight for nothing. And also the government to continue encouraging people who are starting. Let them be recognized, let them be congratulated, let them be given a pat on the back, be encouraged, be given incentives. Yeah, and with time, more people are going to come now, start up, and they will continue.
Yeah. part of the point to home ownership is, of course, you don't own a home which is in the air.
Sure.
It has to be on land.
True.
So ensuring that land is, first of all, available and then affordable is very important.
Yeah.
Could you just give us an overview of what is going on in the market currently?
Sure. Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm happy because I have had some counties that have welcomed private developers so that they can have a public-private partnership, which is very encouraging. And I would actually encourage the government and particularly the county governments to take up that whatever the national government has started, that warming up to a private partnership, private-public partnership. They encourage it. It would be very encouraging to hear maybe a certain governor from a certain county telling us, like us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, who have been tried and tested, come here, we have like 100 acres, because you know, actually the land is owned by the government, and especially the county governments. Come, we have 100 acres, come, we partner here so that we can give our people here who at least can get some money to come and acquire those lands. If those things are done and every county takes up, you will be surprised that housing problem will be a thing of the past. And once we have sorted the problem of housing, actually there will be another problem of now luxurious. It will not be a problem of having to move from the stress of rent. It will be a problem of now growing to be more stable. Yeah.
You've mentioned the counties, and it's important to just bring to fore the role that they play, the devolved units, the role that they play to ensure that Kenyans are well housed. Most Kenyans will look for houses, maybe rental houses within the cities and the towns, the developed towns, and then build in the rural area their retirement home, so to say. What can county governments do to even encourage the building of rental spaces or properties that are of more higher value?
Thank you very much. You will appreciate that whenever there is a change, there is always the resistance, because people normally are used to the status quo, and that is actually what is happening in our country. We changed our constitution back in 2010, but people have actually not really embraced devolution, because devolution is about taking people now from Nairobi. Nairobi has been known to be the center of everything, and now devolving some of the functions that have been devolved to the county governments, and now actually building the counties. And because of the change, and change is gradual, which we appreciate, we changed the constitution, but with time, people will feel the effect maybe after many years, because change is gradual. People are used to Nairobi is a place to be, Nairobi is a town, everybody wants to come to town. But now with time, we should actually start taking steps. Let us start growing the counties. It is a county government, money are being devolved there, and there will be need, because like there has been a call. Everybody is saying more money should move, that 5%, you have 15, that 5%. You know that debate that has been there in our country, which is a very good debate, and you'll find that if people start taking the initiative, these things will come automatic, and with the time, there will be 50% money going to the devolved counties. So let us encourage people who have been given those positions. Let them encourage private investors to come, because they have the liberty. You can even invite private developers who are not even Kenyans, other countries who have those powers. So let's exercise the powers, and we are going to make sure within no time we are going to have not only Nairobi as the biggest town, it is going to compete now with the other towns.
How about the land prices that, well, many speculators say that it's just too high for Kenya, that the dynamics do not really support the high pricing that is there. Is there a way that these land can be affordable to Kenyans?
You'll be very surprised that there are land that are not far from town that are very affordable, actually. Very affordable, very cheap. But you find that the access to them, it is almost a nightmare, because there are no roads, networks, there is nothing, there is no way to access. But if maybe you can take maybe a helicopter and you take around, because people tend to concentrate on areas where there are social amenities. Right. And that is why you find maybe some areas, their land are so expensive because they started earlier. They have security, they have police posts all over, they have roads, networks, they have electricity, they have water. So you find those areas become very attractive. And when the demand is high, the price go up. There's that economy of demand and supply. If the supply is limited, the prices go up. So you find that those areas that have those amenities, because of the land is not expanding, it is small, they tend to be highly priced, overpriced. But you find other areas, if they were opened up, and those amenities, security, road networks, network, there is everything that is needed, those areas are also going to to come up. And we have seen a good example of the areas that have bypasses. You notice that some areas that have bypasses, the people who bought immediately the bypass were made, or just before they were made, they were buying them at a throwaway price. But right now, those areas where bypasses are passing, they are so highly priced. Yeah, so it's a matter of opening up the areas, having that, taking the initiative to attract people. You take it. It can't just happen without action. You take action, invite people, encourage, and within no time, those areas that were considered to be lowly priced, they will go up. They
will go up, and of course, at the same time, you would expect that the Kenyans are, or rather, well, dwellers in Kenya are receiving more money to ensure that they can purchase or they can afford these particular products, right? Yeah, sure. When there is that environment of business thriving
and people coming to invest, that is when now job creations are there, because the good thing with Kenyans are educated. Right. It's only that they are lacking the opportunities, because we are well prepared for the opportunities. Now we are just waiting for the opportunities to come, we grab them, and we build our country. Yeah, so we just need those small opportunities and the encouragement here and there. And yeah, because we have already prepared ourselves enough. And most of the people, you'll find they are educated, they have degrees. Yeah, they are just waiting now for the chances and opportunities. And once you have a job, you have a secure job, why not start with your first house? You will definitely start, because everybody wants to have a home. You do not, then again, you are employed, you are empowered, but all the money you are wasting in leisure. Right. You first invest, then leisure will automatically come. Yeah. Let's talk about the skill set in this industry. I think it may be 5 years now that real estate degrees are being offered in universities. Before it was just architecture, construction, sure. as diplomas. What is the level of skill that is available in the job market in this sector? Sure. Yeah, you will find that previously people were surveyors, architects, and engineers, which were actually, those were some of the mostly sought courses. And you find that even most of those people, they are sometimes very discouraged, because you did an actuarial, architect, actuarial science, any of those jobs, but you don't have an employment. Yeah, so that is one part that those people, we need to absorb them. We need to absorb the surveyors, we need to absorb the architects, we need to give them the jobs. Then I'm happy because other courses now are coming up, like we have project management as courses, we have real estate management, and those courses are very good. But what we are doing at the moment, we are creating now the labor part, the skilled manpower, but at the same time they become frustrated because they do not have anywhere to go and practice what they have learned. So now it is high time. Yes, it's very commendable. Those skills are there. We have actually things like the TVETs, those you understand, Those, they are very good and they are giving people skills. But now once you have done and you get your certificate, you go and you put it in the house and nowhere to practice, it now becomes discouraging. Yeah, so we are calling upon, let us now put to practice what we have been learning. We have been learning so much about real estate. Now it is high time that we create a conducive environment for ourselves and encourage the government. If the government does not, they take the initiative. We as the people, we take the initiative, we encourage them. We tell them, yes, we are doing this, like the Mizizi has taken initiative, and now we are going actually even to other counties. Like very soon, Mizizi will be going to Kwale County. We are going to other parts, and we are encouraging those people. Embrace us. We also bring employment to the people there, and along with us, we have people who are looking up to us, people who have been discouraged elsewhere, they want to invest. So if we continue with that good relationship, we are going to create even employment now for the surveyors. They have their surveyor, we have architects. You can be surprised. Me, I used to fear architects because I knew an architect is somebody who is very highly paid. But you get, when you maybe have you need an architect, you get 100 people who are applying. They have degrees, they have masters, but they don't have the job.
Right.
Yeah, so it is high time now for us now to put into practice what we have been learning. And when we do that, we get so many employed. Even the people that are on the ground who do not need so much skills, they are going also to get something, because they are the people who are going to be doing the casual laborers, the fundis, the what have you. Yeah, and generally all of us are going to grow.
Right. Yeah. So the skill set exists.
Yeah.
There are people who are maybe building their homes, but they're seeking to use their own designs from their brains. They are not architects. Even interior design, they're only doing their own thing. So what would you tell a person who is maybe building their own home in terms of seeking the expertise that exists, seeking an architect or an interior designer to do their home, so that they maybe utilize the space that they have to the fullest?
Yeah, thank you very much. You'll find that the reason why somebody may want actually to draw their own house and come up with it without consulting experts is because they are trying to cut on cost, and because they are also pressed on budget. You are on a tight budget, and maybe you go and approach an architect. This is an architect who has not worked for the last 1 year, and they want you to draw for them a design, which is something they can do with a matter of 2 minutes. But he has seen an opportunity. I can get 100,000 out of this person. He's desperate, he needs money. You are also desperate because you are short of resources, you need to minimize. So you find that at the end of the day, you will say, I can't pay 100. You will go and do your thing, isn't it? You will leave him. He'll also have a problem because he has not gotten the money. But if you can create, you have created for him many jobs. He's doing many jobs, like in a day he's doing like 10, because he's capable. Because nowadays, like, they just need to have a software. Things have eased up. You just need a software, something very fast. Yeah, so he will be able to do for more people. So he'll come charge you 2,000, 3,000. By the end of the day, he has made his money, and he has served more people. And that is the way to go, to do massive. If there is so much supply, definitely the price will go down, the demand will be catered. It is a very simple economics of demand and supply and pricing. If we play along with that thing I've said, we will sort these problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone might be thinking that maybe if I go to an architect and pay 5,000 shillings, I'm wasting my money on that architect. But could you just give them the truth in terms of the benefits of consulting that expert? Because at the end of the day, if you do your own design, you'll probably waste material, you know, and space and all that. Just speak to the benefits of getting that expert knowledge. Sure,
true. Yeah, if you do the calculation for that person who wants to do on their own, in the long run, they will actually end up spending more. It is the way we normally say that cheap is expensive. You will find that you will go draw your own design. You have not gone to school. You will need to change so many other things before you come up with the thing that you want. Again, you do not know the materials that are required. So it is, I highly encourage people, let us make use of these people that have the expertise, and them also, if they are empowered, they will not charge a lot. So you go and get your service at an affordable price. You'll find, like, nowadays lawyers, they are not so expensive like they used to be.
Back then.
Yeah, you remember back then, to hire a lawyer, most people are even selling their land for a very small case. But nowadays, because lawyers, there are so many law firms, the supply now is high. Now actually getting a lawyer is nothing like, so it's not such a big deal, isn't it? Yeah, so the same case, these other professionals, let us give them work. They are sometimes expensive because we fail to go to them, and you will find that once you have given a profession, you have actually removed the risk. If anything were to happen to that building, for example, we have seen people who are coming up with buildings and they collapse. And you as the developer or that person who used their own mind and constructed that house, kienyeji, you'll have to pay. And God forbid, in case of maybe injuries and maybe loss of life, you'll be held to account. But if you had involved architects, you had involved engineers, and maybe those engineers, you had looked at their qualification and they were good. For one, they have their bodies who regulate them. They will be held to account. You'll have to say, you are a qualified engineer. Why did this happen? You are a qualified architect. Why did this happen? So you, as the person, the person who is investing there, you'll be free, because you'll be able to show, these are the people that I gave the job. They have messed me up. Let them be held to account. Yes. So there's so much risk that you are removing from yourself if you involve professionals. Yeah, so it is I encourage people, if you are doing something, involve the professionals. You are removing risk from yourself, taking it to somebody else, and basically there will be no risk, because this person, that is their expertise. Right. So you'll find no houses that are collapsing. Yeah. And
when you talk about these collapsing houses, it just goes to show the importance of authorities enforcing these requirements that, sure, that need to be met before a building is put up. What can the authorities do to ensure that, well, we don't have buildings crashing or rather crumbling, you know, during construction or when people are already living in them?
Yeah, true. Yeah, one thing I've realized and I have learned, you know, we as Mizizi also, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we are also learning, and we have learned that even the people that in the counties, if you go as a developer, you want to be given approvals, to you, you are just an amateur. They'll ask you, do you have an architect? Do you have an engineer? They work closely with those people, you see? So that is another beauty. You as an investor, you as a developer, you are removing yourself from so many questions. Like you go, you are seeking for an approval. You do not know what are the requirements. And now you go and you are told, these are, if you have an architect, you have those professionals. For them, it is just like something that is very easy. So what I encourage from the start, let us make use of professionals. And when we do that, also now the county, their work will be easy, because you find that their work is very difficult. People running away because they are constructing illegally, and it is something that would have been done by a profession, and the work is very easy. And now again, you know, Kenya, there's the issue of corruption. Now they come, they hold you. You do not want to pass the process because you do not even understand it. You have to give something, and that's how we compromise on our safety and actually on our growth. Yeah.
Right. For homeowners who are building, yeah, is there a way that the government can ensure that they use professionals? Because there is the issue of the money,
sure,
but also the issue of the safety that needs, sure, to be met.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, the government, you know, is the government, and it is the one that comes up with the regulations, with the laws, with the everything. Yeah, so the government is in a position actually to ensure that any contractor is making use of professionals. It is within the government's power, because the government, as we normally say, it is like the parent, it is like the father. The father is in a position to ensure that in his own house there is discipline. Yeah, so the government has that mandate, and it has the capability, and it can. If it has the will, it can. It is just like in a family setup. Government is just like a family setup. I have the mother, the father, the children, and the so the father, if the father wants to ensure there is discipline, for sure there will be discipline. But for one, he also has to be disciplined. You understand? Yeah. So it is capable of ensuring that the private developers and people who are constructing their own houses, they use professionals.
What is the space of the real estate sector in job creation in the country?
Yeah, thank you very much. You realize that, and I really am happy because of the affordable housing being one of the 4 agendas. And it has such a massive potential of creating employment and growing our economy like you can't imagine. Because for one, the stress people undergo a lot, and why there's so much depression and stress and even fights within families is because of rent. So that is one big problem. So one thing people want to solve the problem of paying rent, and it can only be solved by affordable housing. And when you are constructing, you will employ people, and it also has the potential of us tapping money that is in the diaspora, or money that has gone and has been taken to another place. We can have the potential to bring that money back, and we create our country within real estate. So I'm sure real estate, yes, Kenya is an agricultural country, so we can't downplay the importance of agriculture.
Right.
So if we can do agriculture very well, agriculture, we also need the roads infrastructure. Again, we have tourism, which is also very good because Kenya, people love coming to Kenya, and we have our wild animals. I think the other sector that can help us really grow our economy is real estate. If we do our agriculture very well, tourism very well, real estate very well, I can assure you, because we are trying to tap not only money that is here, but money that is even outside. The good thing with agriculture, we also do export, isn't it? So we get money. When we do tourism, people are coming to bring money. Real estate is another sector that can really open up our economy and actually create employment. Because when you are constructing, it doesn't require so much skills. We have the people, we have the advantage that we have as Africans or as Kenyans is youthful people who are very energetic, and to add on top of that, Kenyans, people who are also very learned and enthusiastic to work. Yeah, so real estate has such a big potential to grow our economy.
Right.
Yeah.
In other developed markets, home maintenance is quite a lucrative industry.
Sure.
From the plumbers, you know, to the gardeners and all that. In Kenya, those are jobs that most people do not even employ professionals to do first, and even when they do, they do not pay them as much. What can be done to ensure that home maintenance in Kenya is at par with real estate? I mean, the construction bit of it. What can be done to ensure that they are at par?
Thank you very much. You realize that everybody is trying to save. You do not want, and actually you can't be forced to pay for a service which you feel you are actually being overcharged. And actually the government, it would find resistance if you are trying to force somebody to pay someone more money, maybe to do your gardening, and you can do it. So what I can encourage is for us, if you are doing it, do it very well. And also, if you are doing a very good job, we encourage people, that good word, the good thing that nobody can force somebody to pay you and they have not seen what you have done. So I can encourage those people that are in that sector. If you are a plumber, if you are doing whatever you are doing, do it to your level best. And within no time, you are going to find that you have so much demand, because now you are a friend, you have done your own garden, you will visit a friend whose garden was done very well, and they may not have been paid exorbitantly, because this person is not only doing that one, they are doing even more. So you'll have no need to go and maybe do the work itself, and there's somebody here who is a professional who is doing very well, not charging too much because he has so many other customers. So what I can encourage, if you are in a certain profession or something you are doing, do it perfectly to your level best. And also advertise yourself. Advertising is very important. Brand yourself. Be known, so that you do not have to go and force maybe Betty to overpay you so that you can do their garden. It is her who is going to look for you, and that money may be little to her because of the service she will get, but you are doing to more people. So you are not only relying on one person, you are relying on more people, and those people now will have to look for you because they don't have that time to do it themselves, or they don't have the expertise, so they'll have to look for you. Yeah, so what I can encourage is that you as a person who is doing it, you have found your passion there. Actually, everything is about passion. You have found your passion in interior design, in landscaping, in all those jobs, in plumbing. Do it to your level best. Within what time you will find the demand that you have, you'll actually increase your price and people will pay. Because maybe you do a very good job in landscaping. You have seen several people you have done their landscaping very well. They are recommending you. So they recommend you, but you are called to so many other places. So what do? You will say, I'll have to increase my price because I can't be all over. So the person who will afford will give you the job.
Right.
Yeah.
There is the issue of now making sure that this supply of the plumbers and people in that space can meet the demand that exists.
Sure.
For instance, there are agencies that have cleaners. There are agencies that avail maybe house helps or home managers, as we would like to call them.
Sure.
What can be done to bring these people who offer these services in one pool, so to say, so that when someone has a need, they can easily access them?
Sure. Yeah, the thing is about making sure that the service you are offering is known, because you may be doing something but nobody knows. You may be doing something that is good, but nobody knows. But I'm very happy, like nowadays we are in the digital space. Everything is being done online. It's not like previous year you have to pay so much money to get to advertise maybe in a big station so that people can know what you are doing. Now we can start wherever you are. Facebook now is free, is there. Instagram, what have you, all those places. Start advertising what you are doing. Start calling upon if you are doing something, benchmarking, because all these people maybe who are doing those services, if they need to come together, maybe it is actually to cover themselves, maybe actually to be recognized. But if you are doing something, make sure it is known, and with the time you are going to get to know other people who are in the same space you are doing, and with time you are going to build maybe a network amongst yourself, and actually with the time you can now start lobbying for regulations that are actually favoring you. This is our business. We do this and this. We need a law that can help us in one or two things, and such.
Right. And for maybe someone who is building a home or looking to buy a home, what is your advice to them as they come on board?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much. What I can advise anybody who wants to own a home, especially if you are a first-time home owners, I can encourage you to listen to people, what they have been saying, and listen to people who have been recommended. Do not lose your initial money, because that money is crucial. I normally consider the first money as a seed. The first money that you are getting, the first home, is your seed. If you get it wrong, you have consumed the seed, and you will have nothing to reap. Yeah, so make sure that, especially if you are a first-time home owner, look for somebody who is credible. Be recommended to somebody, go see what they have done, and normally for us, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, we call it a journey of faith. Come, we hold hands with people who have done it in the past, who are doing it, who are holding hands and doing it by faith. And you do not require to have so much money. You do not require to have saved so much. You do not require to have done so much. You don't need to have gotten a windfall. You don't need to rob a bank. You just need to have that desire to own a house and start early. Come, see the journey. You may not even buy now. Like a customer, we consider them not a customer once they buy. We consider you a customer because you have that desire. You may not have that money now. We can encourage you, continue saving. 2 years down, 3 years down the line, you'll have the money. Come, we start the journey. Yeah, so it is all in the mindset. It is good to start early and talk with the people who have gone ahead of you, if it was successful. Yeah, and that way, with the time, we are going to know where to invest, and we are not going to make any mistake. Yeah.
Right. So this saving culture that Kenyans need to have, of course, many have struggled with saving, from trying to ensure that they meet their household needs to just that in itself is quite tough for them. What do you advise them about the saving for a home?
Sure, true, very true. It is very difficult and actually almost practically impossible to save without a purpose. if you're just saving aimlessly, at the end of the day, you will find you're also spending that money unknowingly, aimlessly, because there is no certain objective or a certain goal which you are working towards. But if, for example, you have identified your goal, or you have identified your vision or your purpose or your vision is to own a home. You want to own a home within 5 years, 10 years. It is good to identify, I want to own a home, and I want to own it with, for example, let's say with Mizizi Africa Homes Limited. What do I need to do? I need to be following up their progress. I need to be following up what they are doing. I need to be talking with people who are doing it. And within no time, you may be surprised. Maybe you are thinking you need 10 years for you to save maybe an amount to raise a deposit, but you find maybe that is not the case. You find you have come to visit the other people who are like you. They need to own a home. They do not have the enough savings. And what we normally encourage, or we can encourage you, join a SACCO. You are a team. Your earning is this much. Join a SACCO. SACCOs mostly, and we are happy because most of our customers have started with SACCOs. Initially, people have bought our first houses with SACCO, but the second ones you get, it becomes easier because now you have the title. You can be loaned by the bank. Yeah, so you come, you join hands with people, you join a SACCO. That group, you can actually guarantee each other to get a loan, and whatever you are guaranteeing, you are sure this person is not taking that money to go and consume. They are coming to invest in a house, and that house is appreciating very fast, because like our houses, you buy them off plan, we sell to you at, let's say, 4 million. Within 1 year, that house, all houses, they have gone to above 6 million. So the least amount that you are able to save, or the interest, the income, the profit or capital gain, in other words, it's called capital gain, you're able to make is above 2 million. And that capital gain is also money that also will help the government to get their capital gain there, and you yourself, you are going to get money to even plow back and do more. Yeah, so the most important is to identify what you want to do. Do not just save. You just want to know that you have $1 million in the bank. You'll be surprised only 1% maybe of the Kenyan population have $1 million and above in their personal account.